$60 million!
You've been seeing that a lot, right? What does it all mean, though? Here's my friend Alex Machine Richardson to help explain.
So, 60 mil, 20 tournaments, 8 weeks. You probably already know. But how does a club prove themselves to be the very best in the world? That is where the Esports World Cup Club Championship comes in. The Club Championship is where things really heat up. $20 million awarded to the top 16 clubs, with the newly crowned best club in the world awarded an astonishing $7 million.
Wait, so how does that actually work?
It's simple. We've got 20 tournaments. In each tournament, the top 8 teams get awarded points towards their club championship total. The higher you place, the more points you get. Now, these points are worth the same in all titles, so it is important to not put all of your eggs in one basket. But it's important to remember that the club champion needs to win at least one individual game tournament.
Nice, so we'll probably be seeing clubs trying to qualify across a range of games to have the best chance of getting their hands on $7 million.
Yeah, man, there's your incentive. More clubs across more games, more competition.
And so the race begins. This summer, we will crown the best esports club in the world.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the EWC R6 NA closed qualifier. Sternab, we already have had 2 teams qualify. We have DZ and we have LG going to their first ever LAN. Now it's between Sonics and SSG, a rematch from the major LCQ that SSG actually won 2-0. So I'm sure Sonics are eager to get their payback.
Yeah, they won it pretty decisively, so it is a bit of a rematch, but honestly, Crow, after yesterday, I think Sonics are looking to prove themselves a little bit, and SSG are as well. They both really had some pretty close matches, but they just got absolutely destroyed 2-0 in both of them, so I'm sure they're looking for a bit of payback and seeing what exactly they could do. But we'll be talking a little bit about the EWC overall before we get into that.
Yeah, as we mentioned yesterday, huge tournament. Huge prize pool, $60 million plus being handed out across 21 games. And actually 2 tournaments have already finished. Warzone's tournament, I believe, finished with Falcons coming first place, winning $200,000. And League of Legends finished. And who else but Faker, right? SKT1 ended up winning that. I believe they won $400,000 because the team pool, like the pool of teams, was smaller. So congrats to those 2. They've already finished. We got a couple other games finishing soon as well. And I know, we talked about yesterday a lot of the games we're interested in. You're going to be keeping your eye on Dota. I'm probably going to be keeping my eye on on Apex, as my fiance is working it. MW3. CS2, obviously, we got to tune into CS2, so he's going to win that.
Obviously.
But yeah, the prize pools are crazy. You just saw the video. The club championship is also really, really cool. And then we've got that trophy system, that new innovative trophy system. I love the monolith idea too. That's sick.
Yeah, it's cool. It definitely very encourages just throw as many teams as you can in there across a range of games, and there are a massive number of games to be played against. So we'll decide who is going to be playing in our Rainbow Six Siege tournament, of course. Of course, all the rest of them have actually finished now. So, as you said, we've had the open qualifiers, which every team had to go through. We're in the closed qualifier. So, in fact, every other team has already qualified. Every other region's just finished. Into the Breach just qualified for the EU tournament just a little bit ago. And, yeah, we're going to crown our last North American qualifier.
Yeah, I actually completely forgot we're the last ones, because we already have, I looked up, we've got FaZe, W7M, Liquid, and surprisingly, at least to me, W7M qualifying. Of course, Furia, who used to be W7M, are also there, so we got the 4 Brazilian teams. We got BDS, Wolves, and ITB was also kind of surprising to me, qualifying from EU. Cruelty from LATAM, who is also competing in Element 3, so if you want to get a sneak peek of how they play, you can go ahead and watch E3. We've got the saviors of APAC, Bleed Esports, now playing with Leader in place of ASFI, because ASFI has the military service that I think Singapore requires. And then, of course, PSG Talon, Scars, Bliss, and GK rounding it out. And we discussed DZ and LG have already qualified. This is our last match. We mentioned how big this game is. Both SSG and SQ have something to prove. SSG performing really, really bad at the major and making a roster move, and SQ not even making the major at all.
Yeah, but we did see them have a pretty good run at it yesterday, and so did SSG just to get here. But as we say, this is a rematch from the LCQ. So we're going to see the bracket now and see how exactly we did get here. Pretty decisive 2-0s there in the upper bracket part, but Luminosity having a crazy run to beat M80 twice and then to decisively beat Space Station 2-0 yesterday. I think that's the real story from yesterday, honestly, that Luminosity coming out on top.
Yeah, again, their first LAN. All 5 players, their first LAN. So it's not even like LG had like this veteran to lead a young team to their first LAN. No, all 5 of them are incredibly young players. It's all their first event. Even the coaching staff had never made an event before with, Vivid as the coach. And I believe it's Mossy is their analyst. And the theme from both SSG and Sonic's losses were just inability to close out. There were so many rounds where they had these 5v3s, 4v2s, man advantages heading to the site, and they just could not convert because DZ would do something like crazy and catch Sonics off guard, and LG would just fall back on their gun skill and outfragged SSG almost every single round they won, especially on map 2. But these two teams, as we said, and as we've highlighted, is a rematch. Last time they played each other was in that LCQ. It was a pretty close 2-0 for SSG. In the very final round to actually qualify for the major. It was 8-7 on Chalet, 7-4 on Consulate, and in the NAL normal group stage, they also played on Consulate, and SSG won that 7-5 as well. So in their past couple meetings, SSG are 3-0 in maps against Sonics.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, it's going to be a pretty hell of a matchup between these two. I think, just from what we saw yesterday, I'm going to throw a prediction out there. I think Space Station is going to take this home. I think that they were absolutely caught, bewildered by the incredible gun skill from Luminosity. Which, I mean, we were caught out, bewildered by it, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Especially that last round. What was that? A 4v2 with Surf on Glaz of all operators, which warmed my heart as a Glaz lover myself. But now we can head right into the map ban. So, we just talked about the map Sonics have lost. No Consulate. That needs to go immediately from Sonics. SSG, I would expect to probably ban out Clubhouse. Sonics are really good at that map. So I'm intrigued to see what our very first pick is. I don't think Sonics can go Chalet either. Chalet's not a popular map for them, and we've seen SSG really, really like that map. Maybe a Bank. Both teams like Cafe. I think both teams are recently sort of willing to leave up. Sonics do not have a history on Cafe at all, but more recently in the qualifier they've played it a little bit.
Yep. Yeah. To be fair, with Consulate, Sonics were willing to go to it a lot of the time until they lost it in the open qualifier here at the GBC. So, and then since then they've just banned it completely. So they just said, no, we're not playing this map anymore. So yeah, I don't think they're going to go to Consulate. I think Sonics probably just don't want to see that at all. And apparently all the maps are decider now. So we're going to everything.
Could you imagine
that
if we had a 9-map series?
All
in all
played simultaneously.
That would 1v1v1. The coaches and the analysts have to get involved. But our first map pick is Oregon. So we know Sonics in the past have liked Oregon. As of recent, they've been banning it a little more. I believe they're 1-1 on this map, including the qualifier. Right? I don't think they've played it in the qualifier just yet. SSG, on the other hand, 1-3 on this map.
Yeah, it's not really a great map, but to be fair, Oregon is just one of those maps where every team has it in their pool, just in their back pocket. But Sonics, I feel like as a team for their map pool, are kind of known to just going to the off-meta maps, if that makes sense. They like going to the non-popular maps. So yeah, an Oregon pick from them is certainly a little bit surprising, but I don't think it's completely out there. I think that's a strong pick, especially against SSG. As you mentioned, their win rate is pretty bad on it.
Yeah.
Just to give you some context as well, Sonics banned Consulate and Border. Space Station banned Clubhouse and Skyscraper. Clubhouse makes complete sense there. Consulate and Border makes complete sense from Sonic. So we're going to see what SSG pick as their map.
And SSG decide Drum roll, please. Labs. That is a little bit surprising, right? But before the qualifier, they were almost completely unwilling to go to this map. They didn't even play it before this qualifier, and then they had a pretty resounding loss to LG on map 1. LG actually picked it against them. So the fact that SSG not only are leaving the map up, but picking it, I don't know, how much could they have really revisited in the last less than 24 hours?
Yeah, it is a big risk. It's a bold move from SSG to pick Nighthaven. I think they're probably just banking on the fact that Sonics did last play Nighthaven a long time ago, as believe in the NAL group stage against Beast Coast, at which they lost very decisively. But to be fair, it was against Beast Coast. They did win that season. So, Sonics clearly have some kind of ideas on Nighthaven. They're going to be able to see what SSG have seen it and see, obviously SSG not going to be able to switch it up too much for Nighthaven, I wouldn't think. But yeah, I think it's a huge risk. I think they're banking on that pick a lot, and just assuming that they can win that through. But we'll see what the decider is, and we'll see what the whole map pool is, and we'll see if SSG's got a chance here or not.
It's Cafe.
Cafe.
Which is a map that Sonics historically have an immense ban rate on, but they did pull it out against Beast Coast in the open quals. They won it there, and then they pulled it out again in the closed quals and beat Beast Coast again the second time around, winning 7-3. So it was a pretty dominant win, and they were willing to leave it up against DZ. So could be Sonics, shifting the philosophy, being a lot more willing to play Cafe. But we also know SSG are fans of Cafe. But before the qualifier, they were, 2-1 on it. They played it. Last time they played it was, I think, the Major or the NAL. It was left up as the decider against Aerial Arise in the open quals, but they didn't play it. They have not played it in a bit, but they also don't really ban it too often. So I'm expecting a 3-map series right off the bat. And I'm expecting Cafe to probably be, if Sonics are picking this because they've been just working on it like crazy in the background, 7-3 on Beast Coast, I expect that map to be super close. We're probably going to be map 3, 6-6 or 5-5 or something like that.
For me, Space Station have gambled this entire series just on that Nighthaven. And, I respect it. I think that that's a decent pick. Obviously, Sonics have a lot of maps in their pool that they just don't seem to play. A lot, of course, we see Border from them yesterday against Dark Zero. And again, we mentioned it yesterday that they just have not played Border at all, not since SI. And that was a completely different team back then. So, it could be risk, it could be rewarded. I think it's probably going to be rewarded from what we've seen, that Sonics don't seem to be too happy about going to Border. Maybe this is one of the reasons they took Nighthaven out of their map pool for officials. Maybe they've been saving it. I think it's a big risk to take them there, but if they're rewarded for that, I think Space Station will take Cafe.
Yeah, so SSG, I think I agree, despite what we saw yesterday from SSG. I think the fact that they just got outgunned and caught off guard is a little bit less egregious than the fact that Sonics were getting, outplayed, if that makes sense. So heading into map 1 on Oregon, you mentioned it's a map that everyone should know. It's a map that, back in the Astralis days, J90 and Forest and Call Out, 3 of them, were good at. They really liked Oregon. They've liked Oregon for their whole careers, as now we get into it. But Sonics also historically a pretty good Oregon team. And look at who they've got too. They've got Ambi, they've got Merc, they've got Tra, now Adam, also, again, really good Oregon players. I expect this map to be not a typical SSG map. I feel like this is going to be a really down and dirty Oregon.
Down and dirty. I like that. Down and dirty Oregon. Yeah. It does tend to be one of those maps that is sort of played out, or some call it a solved map. I think Desitu talked about that yesterday, but I think there's still a lot to be shown, and the odd bands definitely decide that, and we're going to see Monty and Ying already taken out. We saw a lot of Ying yesterday.
We did. It was awesome because the Ying facilitated the Glaz, and I've talked ad nauseum about how much I love Glaz. But no Ying this time, no Monty, no Azami either from Sonics, leaving it up to SSG. Do they want to ban Fenrir? Do they want to ban Mira? Tubarao is really good on this map, though I guess Tubarao doesn't really warrant a ban as much anymore. Probably Fenrir? And there it is. All
You're a
right.
genius.
Valkyrie's up, Mira's up.
Yeah, we did see a lot of Mira ban, but we also seen a lot of Azami ban. So, yeah, she's still completely ridiculous there.
And we saw a ton of Valkyrie play yesterday, too.
Yeah, we did. But we're going to be getting into the first round here. It's going to be Sonics versus Space Station. Sonic's going to be starting on the attack here on Oregon. So, obviously, we can't attack a lineup because we'll always almost get it wrong and they'll just start changing everything. And to be fair, we did see a lot of attack and repick from Sonics yesterday. So, we'll probably see what they want to do it. Basement first. What do you think of this defense lineup?
Well, SSG haven't banned the smoke, so he's back in full force. Forced on him. This is a great smoke site. Interested to see where he's going to play because they've set up their shield with Ashen on sentry. He's got both shield and C4. They've set up their shield facing bunker from the barrels side rather than elbow. So I'm wondering if Forrest is going to play in the more exposed position or if he's going to be like playing in elbow as backup, but they've got plenty of delay with this smoke and Goyo. The Warden is a little bit interesting considering that they've banned, you know, two of like the primary wedge operators on this site being Ying and Monty, so you're not going to have to worry about flashes. You're not really going to have to worry about smokes, although Sonics are bringing the Capitao. So I don't... If the Warden ends up like getting a two-piece or something through those smokes, then you know I'll resign to the fact that it was worth it. But for now, I'm questioning that a little bit. And Ashen, trying to set the tone, ends up dying first. But where did that C4 come from?
From the heavens. Just sort of just teleport next to him, I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, Ashen was getting pretty aggressive on the... He had like kind of like spawn peek coming out from dorms down to the front door. He's already been picked off, but we're developing into a 4v4 already. That book coming off the board, that could be pretty devastating for Sonics, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, how much SSG are kind of exuding the presence across the map. The Buck makes that roam clear a hell of a lot more efficient. At the very least, he didn't die with Hard Breach in his pocket. They've got the Grim and the Capitao and the Hibana, and literally every single operator they have left has Hard Breach. You're not really losing there. And SSG, well, where they're roaming, because Ashen died on the spawn peak, the rest of SSG are really just roaming tower side. So, honestly, I don't think the Buck is too big of a deal, unless this is going to come down to a push where, like, they've got to force their way through the freezer wall. Then, you know, having the Buck would have been pretty necessary just to force your way through there. But otherwise, not the worst loss in the world because of where SSG's roaming.
Yeah, but we have moved a lot of time off of that clock now, and SSG has started to pull back that roam completely. Sonic's getting set up. I'm going to guess probably for that pillar side, considering that they do have Grim, but they are going to have to try and get control of this big tower side Merc, with the Maverick opening up his sightlines as well, making sure that big tower player can't get too aggressive as they get ready for the pillar drop. Flashbang coming through as well, threatening that side, as Grixer has got to rotate. Wherever this Grim is going to push, that Rex is going to be pushed down.
I'd like to see where Benjamaster is playing that Warden, who's going to be the first line of defense against the potential smokes from the Capitao and that flashbang flood that the attackers tend to send in. It looks like he's back in the site or back in the long haul. J9O tries to get aggressive, ends up dying, but somehow Fultz was staying hidden, I believe, in T3. It gives him a freebie on Tra, on Adam, and now the entire attack has to try and push through, evading the flank from Fultz. Ambi dies to the gas canister. Grixer is down, and this pressure created by a misdroned player upstairs has unraveled the attack from Sonics. It's all down to Merc, and he'll lose to Fultz, who is still up above. MVP of the round, the mute from Fultz, and they take round number 1.
Absolutely beautiful room coming out from Space Station there, and just limiting the pressure from Sonics a lot. They weren't able to set up, and as you said, right, as soon as they did set up, as soon as they went for that execute, Fultz able to just come in from the back, completely shut down that pillar angle, and then Forrest was able to use his smokes effectively to stop the pillar drop from really threatening their position. So great first start from Space Station. Let's see if Sonic can pick up the slack.
Yeah, losing round number 1 to a miss drone is not the tone you want to set. I mean, the jammers were set up, I'm pretty sure, in sight and upstairs around where Ashen was playing. I don't think Fultz had too much, and even then, if you just throw a drone in T3, you can't set any jammers up there, and then you can see the entirety of T2. So a little bit of poor drone work from Sonics. I'm wondering if, because there was only like a minute left by the time they even, thought about sending utility down that hatch, maybe they felt pressed for time and thus didn't do their due diligence. Either way, we need to see Sonics shore up that attack a little bit. Now we move ourselves onto kids' dorms with a soft attic wall. SSG looking to maybe extend in through tower. Another spawn peek coming out, this time from J90, unsuccessful, but unlike Ashen, does not give up his life this time.
J90, he's had some crazy plays yesterday. He almost completely recovered the game for them against Luminosity. But yeah, unfortunately no spawn peek for him today, as we'll see potentially a big tower side push coming out from Sonics. Grixer opening up that double window, and they are starting to clear out from below, it looks like. So this really interesting sort of meeting run that they've got going on with the Mujams to support it. What do you think of this?
I think Sonics look like they're pushing right into it. Whether they know it or not, SSG are looking to directly challenge this downstairs take, but Sonics are spread out quite a bit. Not only do they have, some semblance of downstairs, but they've got a guy, I believe, on the armory rappel. They've got one outside big window, now one pushing through master. So maybe after droning out, seeing that extension, Sonics are deciding that they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, potentially. It looks like maybe they're sort of roaming around for a direct take from Master side, as we'll see the Armory Repel coming up from Ambi here. Reload and see if he can drone out any of this. It's going to be hard to get this Armory control and get the Master bedroom control. Of course, because I had that shield and Mujammer setup coming in on the closet side, but it's going to be Rexon who goes down below. Ashen taking him out. Can Ashen get the double kill here? He's going to sprint all the way out. Beautifully played from Ashen there, and he gets away with it. No trade coming out from Sonics. Fultz finds another one.
The power of the Oryx able to skate by. Fultz does get traded out, but the work done by Ashen cannot be understated. Now only a minute left on the clock, and again, I have to question, was that just poor drone work? Did they just not know that Ashen was playing down there in garage? They do have info on this player prone by sandbags. I believe that's J90. No, that was Ashen, hiding in the corner, hoping maybe to get out with his life, but he's down. And because of the kill in Z, the attackers are also going to be able to take control of those cameras. I don't think SSG brought any VPs or anything, so it's not going to be the end of the world, but maybe a default or two could cover a flank.
Yeah, it could be. We can see Grim Charges going in for Attic, so try and clear this area out through a pinch between Attic and Master Bedroom. But there's still a lot of util up, and J90 is going to kick things off as well. Merc is going to go down. It's going to have to be a hard push from Sonics here to try and secure things out in a 2v3. The push coming out from Ambi, trying to desperately get a kill as Grixer pushes in from the other side of Trophy. Does manage to get some lit up, but Ambi goes down. It's all down to Grixer to try and bring it in. But Forrest with a double kill at the end there, with a long angle with DMR. Space Station secure their second round.
Another confident one, starting out with another miss drone. Ashen catching the attack off guard, Fultz supporting, and yes, Sonics did get the trades, but so much time was wasted. About 2 minutes 15 off the clock by the time they even had the ability to start pressuring the site, because they no longer had to worry about those roamers. And from there, SSG, all they really had to do was stand still, and that's what we saw. J90 was holding the pixel in through Attic. Forrest had the long angle to cover the cross from Benja, who was playing in Bolo, and there was really nothing Sonics could do because they no longer had the utility to force these players out. The 2-0 for SSG, 2 defenses, but it's on the 2 primary sites. Right?
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world for Sonics. If they can still take the 2 rounds on meeting, they're going to be looking good. So this is going to be the real test for SSG. If they go 3-0 here, then I'm convinced we're seeing a completely different SSG than we saw yesterday.
Yeah, the big issue has been drone work for sure, but we're not going to see the mute anymore coming out from Space Station. So hopefully Sonics can pick up the slack on that drone work and make sure they can clear out the throw a little bit quicker. Space Station have been doing these really weird and very aggressive roams, and for the most part, it's been working out for them. And they have been wasting a lot of time on that approach. So I'm interested to see how well it's going to be working here, given the fact that this tertiary site doesn't really give you a lot of options on the pool.
the main extension is going to be where you see Benjamaster playing right now, all up towards dorms and kids. Not really too much beyond that, because the more you extend, the less utility is that you have to play around on site. And if you don't have stuff stacked, it's very exposed, especially for something like a stage plant. SSG gonna start to feel the pressure as Sonic seem inclined to push out this roam, or at least just create some phantom presence here as Ambi's opening barricades and backing up. And with the positioning from Rexon, maybe looking to open one of these meeting walls, we could see Sonics just try and go for a minimal.
Yeah, it looks like they want to try and just push out this meeting as quickly as they can. Fault is hiding up above on the attic, and of course your favorite gun is being played here by K9O.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you love that. Dokkaebi Call is going to go out. And then we'll see the take starting to come through. Benjamaster, Fault getting kills, but Ambi and Atom picking up on their own on the trades. Quick trades coming out from Sonics as they are going to try and push in from this small tower side. Creeping in as he does. Grixa, possibly for another logic bomb being deployed as the thermite charge looks like to go off the opposite side to try and get stuff open onto meeting. Merc on that side with the diffuser as well, pushing with Ambi.
So the 2-2 split fast push from Sonics does work out for a few trades. It does force SSG back to the bomb site, but the only thing I'm worried about is Sonics here are very separated. The Dokkaebi on the opposite side of the map. If he ends up catching a defender off guard, it'll work wonders, but instead he decides he's going to rotate out. SSG are still holding firm in attic. They've got hatch control, and the thermite, the one with case, is the man starting to challenge it. He'll be able to get away, get back down to where he needs to try and attempt that plant, but gets taken out by Ashen through the holes as he ascends the staircase, and now another defender comes through. It's J9O with both of the final kills coming actually upstairs. I thought he came from, I thought he walked down from, like, attic. I didn't realize he walked up T1.
He just amazes you sometimes, you know, with the ways that he
does.
just appears. Oh, wrong settings. Unfortunate. I guess they were able to go back to a site, maybe, or something like that.
Maybe? I don't really know what that could entail. But we've got a rehost. So I guess that kind of works out in Sonic's favor. Taking us out of the game, you know, kind of snubbing a little bit of the momentum from SSG. I know in some tournaments, the players aren't allowed to talk to each other during like a tech rehost and stuff like that. Not quite sure what the rules are for here. But
I'm
even
sure
if they
everyone is going to respect that. No one's going to talk to each other at all. They're not going to discuss any of the game or anything like that, I'm sure.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Even if they can't talk to each other, though, it's still a good opportunity for Sonics to cool down, right? Not get too heated. Take a little breather. It's 3-0 SSG, right? They look a hell of a lot better than yesterday. I don't know if it's just because LG played that like unpredictably. Sonics have been more standard so far on Oregon, and I think when you play a super standard game, you're playing right into SSG's strengths. Because if SSG don't have a massive wrench being thrown into their plans, it's similar to DZ, right? Where they just work as a well-oiled machine and everything looks perfect. Sonics have yet to break out that wrench and throw SSG for a loop. Everything they're doing is super normal, and SSG are more than ready for it.
I think just for Sonics' case, that they've just had a couple of just huge misplays that have completely cost them the round. On that last bit, I felt like they had a pretty good chance of doing an execute, but Merc was all over the place. It didn't really seem like he knew where he wanted to push. He opened up the attic wall upstairs, which was a good play to try and force that pressure out of him. But they just didn't have enough members to try to cover everything. He was running up and down the stairs, wondering what he wants to do, trying to throw a flash to cover himself, but he gets picked up for free. And yeah, I think just some huge misplays coming out from Sonics, and they don't really seem all together right now.
Yeah, we're missing we're missing the same like fight that we saw against DZ, where every single round against DZ was being fought down to the wire. We're not seeing that right now against SSG from Sonics, and you're right, there have been a couple plays where they just kind of look confused, especially with the Misdrones, right? I mean, that Misdrone so far twice has lost them 2 rounds, and then in the previous round, they go for that 2-2 split, and then immediately are forced back off after the trades, and then are just kind of wondering where the next play is. But yeah, we're just fixing a small tech issue with the observer settings. As soon as we have all 10 back in lobby, we'll get back in the game. It's still, if you're just tuning in, it is 3-0 SSG. They won Laundry, they won Dorms, they won Meeting, all in a row. SQ, not the greatest start.
Yeah, pretty decisive from Space Station, but maybe this technical timeout will allow them to just calm down and push out from that momentum. Like, we talk about momentum, we talked about a lot yesterday about how that momentum, it can really get away from you. And yeah, as we say, like, Oregon, sure, it's defender-sided, but you really want to come out that split 4-2. And if you're not coming out 4-2, it's not looking good for you. And this is Sonic's map pick as well. That can't be underestimated here.
Yeah, they were the ones that brought SSG to Oregon, and I think, you know, trying to capitalize on the fact that as of recent, SSG have looked pretty weak here. We're already getting back into the game. Rehost is complete. SSG are likely going to go back down to Laundry, I would imagine. I was surprised that they didn't bring Amira, considering she's still up. Also surprised we've had no Valkyrie so far. Typically, if we're gonna see a Valkyrie, it's on, you know, Meeting or Dorms, one of those sites where you're exciting. There's a lot of C4 potential, but so far SSG just playing super into just a time delay and denial comp.
Yeah, I mean, but that is the name of the game for them, right? And SSG, they are known for doing those kind of weird, aggressive roams. We've seen it already here on Oregon a few times. We saw it yesterday as well against Luminosity. And all they have to do is just kill time. And I feel like that strategy didn't really work against Luminosity, because Luminosity, once they had nothing to lose, they were like, fine, we'll just walk up yellow with a shotgun, who cares? And that generally just worked out for them for some reason. But Sonics, clearly, they take a more valued approach to the game. They take a more slow and steady approach. That has not paid out for them because they're losing operators and they're losing time before they get there.
We'll see what they do against yet another aggressive SSG roam, and they've swapped where the shield is. This time, instead of being played by barrels, it was denied rather easily by Sonics. After they opened the hatch, they had a little hole in the wall, and then you can't play behind the shield. They've shifted it still very forward, right next to that bunker door, and Sonics are bringing a lot more tools to deal with said roam directly. They've got both Jackal and Deimos. Tons of info that are not necessarily avoid the mute, but do restrict if SSG want to counter those. They have to really just sit in one spot. But there goes the Jackal. Already, Benjamaster with another early C4 kill.
Where did that even happen?
I don't know. Yeah, same thing as round one, right? Like, where did that just fly from the heavens?
I don't know, but
God just smited him.
Pretty happy with that. So yeah, I guess so. Benjamaster just got that teleport C4 going on.
That's the Jackal too.
Yeah,
I was so excited. I was so excited to talk about. Wow, all the tools they're bringing. This is great. They're gonna roam clear, and then Jackal's just gone.
Yep, Space Station do seem pretty committed to this roam though, as you said. You know, they just seem to be falling off. But 4v5 already developing. I think Space Station could be happy with that, and they could just be happy just to play their side, play their defense, and just play out the 4v5.
Oh, we're really dumb. You know what the settings? It was 3-3-3-3. It swapped after 3 rounds. That's why. I didn't even realize Sonics had switched to defense.
I didn't even realize either. Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Now, minute 12 left. Sonics, like you had mentioned, don't really have to deal with the room. I guess SSG were just like, hey, I mean, we got to kill. Sonics have been struggling for time. We might as well just fall back now that they don't have the Jackal. The Deimos, too, with no roam, and with how little opportunity there is for the Deimos to get, you know, a cheeky kill through either the floor or a wall or something like that, I feel like is a lot less usable here on basement. Yeah. And look at SSG, not moving an inch, knowing that they don't really have to do anything. The Warden is getting tracked, so Ashen's position is a little bit exposed, but he got 2 other players like 3 inches away from him.
Yeah, but he did have a mute jammer there on Pillar as well, so we could just roll back to that. And the Death Mark no longer does anything. We see Capital Bolts coming out, smokes coming out, the Pillar drop comes out for Deimos, but Abby and Merca both picked a beautiful shot from Ashen! As Forest goes down as well, but Ashen, with the triple kill at the end there, shuts down SQ completely, and it's 4-0 for Space Station.
For the 4th round in a row, Sonics have nothing to dislodge the SSG anchors. This round, being the most egregious so far because it's been the most dominant round so far. SSG only lost one player that round, and that was after it was already a 5v1. The SSG are playing perfectly, and Sonics, despite bringing the Capitao, despite bringing the Grim and the Deimos, SSG have not been forced out because of their positioning. It's like a web. Even if you try to take out one strand of that, there's 8 million others 2 inches away from this guy. So when you try to flush one out, there's 3 others there to respond on you. Case in point, you know, that last round. Ambi tracks one guy. He actually tracked the Warden who was in Pillar and then just drops the hatch and tries to run into Laundry. Simultaneously, we have one person from Sonics alone attempting to walk through Bunker that Ashen just smokes. One person on Tower Stairs. I respect Sonics trying to go for something different and apply all these little pressure points individually, but they didn't have a man advantage, so SSG just sat one person on each angle who could very easily just pivot and cover a different angle and, or a crossfire, and SSG just happened to win all their fights. Even if Sonics had kind of kept up with those trades, I guarantee SSG would have still come away with the round because of how close-knit they were.
Yeah, no, for sure. And in the meantime, we're seeing a very different setup from Space Station here, bringing the Clash instead. I like how Space Station almost always try and stay ahead of the curve in terms of being counted against, right? They're like, we don't want to do the same setup as we did last time. Let's just change it up completely. Let's bring the Clash. Let's set up the side completely differently, and let's just run a different strat so that Sonics can't just stay ahead of the curve on us and, you know, and start tricking against us. I like the Clash here. Benjamaster again with another opening kill. Not onto Rexon this time, though. Ampy and Merc will be going down, however.
Wow. This is something that we were really missing from Benjamaster yesterday. He was 1-1 on entry on map 1, and then started to heat up a little bit on map 2, but he ended up finishing the day 15-19. This is not what that's not what SSG picked him up for. This guy was a star world champion fragger, and now I believe, probably just took some time to acclimate. SSG are playing incredibly well because they have Benjamaster getting these opening picks, playing with his team, and even when he's not getting the opening pick, he's refragging the opening death. So they've lost the Buck and the Deimos for a Capcan who's already put down all his traps.
Yeah, that's pretty good, honestly. And Benjamaster's done very well to just even get a pick out of that. Normally it's just a time-wasted position, but yeah, he has managed to get a pick out of it, and Ashen managed to get a pick as well. So yeah, Deimos and Buck going down, as you said, but we still got the Grim, and I think the Grim is pretty essential here for Sonics to actually maybe do some movement, but they don't really have anything to deal with this Clash, and we saw how Luminosity yesterday just could not deal with this Clash on Nighthaven.
Yeah, SSG's Clash play is really good, and not only is SSG's Clash play good, but the more players you lose against a Clash, the worse it is, because not only do you have to worry about her, you have to worry about everyone playing behind her as you're slowed and essentially playing up against a moving mirror window. Now with only 40 seconds left, the Sonics player's a little bit isolated. We got one on the rappel, one going to come up white. I don't even know where the third guy is. Where is he? Big window? I would assume this is really their only play. Grim comes out to clear top white. That's going to make way for Rexon to attempt to push in. The reinforcement is on the white rotate, so he doesn't have to worry about that, but Ashen just peeks around with the shotgun, and now the Clash is stopping Grixer from trying to support. I don't even know how that killed him. What? Didn't even look like Ashen was around the corner yet, and now Adam's alone. He knows the round is lost, and SSG have a 5-0 lead on their opponent's map pick.
I think he did the wanted thing, where like bounce the pellets off the wall like a ricochet,
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Slowed down time.
This is just insane from Space Station. They're staying adaptive, they're staying ahead of they're constantly changing what they're doing, and Sonics have absolutely zero answers for what is happening right now. They are being absolutely dominated. Are we going to see a 7-0 coming from here?
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be 7-0. I think Sonics might have a chance to take a few rounds once they swap to defense. But right now they're just getting slaughtered. And the question is, even if they, I should amend that statement, even if they do switch to defense, is it going to be too little too late? Like, are they already going to be at the point where they're like, oh, well, this is over. Like, why even why even bother? Are they just going to get chopped?
Why even bother? I would really hope that they wouldn't say something like that. But yeah,
I mean,
guess,
obviously you don't want them to, but the player, like, if you're down 6-0 on map 1, a lot of times, yeah, you're
on your
like,
map pick, yeah.
Yeah, you never admit it, but in your mind you've got that doubt. You're like, man, 0-6, like, can we?
I'm surprised that we
Maybe
haven't seen a
possible?
timeout being called from Sonics, honestly.
That too. Like, if you, I would have expected that, like, down 0-3.
Yeah, no, for sure. But they're just letting the momentum get away from them so far. Let's see if Sonics can actually lock out a round here finally. We're going to see the Brava and the Flores being brought, which is nice. I like that. I mean, we don't have any bulletproof cams, so I'm not sure how effective the Brava is really going to be here, though.
Lucy? Maybe?
Yeah,
Get the
maybe.
get the Banshees, turn them against the defense. This is also a really fun shield from SSG, placed in Z, facing garage with holes open in classroom. But here's where the Flores drone comes in handy, but Bench is gonna peek off of it. Rexon doesn't expect him to get aggressive and pays the price. That is not only a third opening pick in a row for Benjamaster, but that is Sonic's only hard breach now dead. At the very least, Forrest goes down, so it's an even trade in terms of man count, but certainly favorable for the defense in terms of utility, at least until Grixer gives his team a rare man advantage. Now up 4-3, and he's just right on the site. Benja and Fultz will light up the scoreboard as Ambi takes down the ladder. Ashen now low HP as well. Sonics are on the brink of their first round win.
Yeah, on the brink of it indeed. And Benjamaster, last one remaining, but Ambi just absolutely cleans up House here and takes down both of the defenders. Really well played there from Sonics, finally clawing back their first round. But we're going to be swapping sides, and Sonics will find themselves in the defense. But at least now, they managed to get that round. 5-1 is not exactly an ideal, but it's better than a 6-0.
I think that's what that was kind of the secret sauce for Sonics. We just needed to see, you know, guys like Ambi let off the leash, try to replicate what LG did, walk at these guys, force the gunfights, because if you don't play the utility game against SSG, you know, they're expecting to fight against, you know, the Shields and the Flores and the Flashbangs and waste all this time, utility, whatever. If you just throw that out the window and force fights, SSG get caught off guard. That's what happened last time with LG. That's what happens. You know, that's why SSG and DZ both have pretty bad records against Brazilian teams. Sonics has to just let guys like Adam, like Merc, Ambi, Rex, you know, just let them off the leash. And that's exactly what they did last round. Ambi with four huge kills.
I actually think that the big difference maker for Sonic last round was the inclusion of the Flores, and we will see that coming out from Space Station. I'm hoping. Oh my god, every time I talk about it, they change it instantly. But you get what I mean, right? They had a big setup with the castle and the interesting shields and everything like that. Interesting. So, yeah,
All
I
right.
think the floor was a big reason why Sonics were able to take that round. So, we won't see any floors coming out. We will see the Grim, however. So there's a lot of options here for Space Station, but I think normally when you see the Grim here, you're normally expecting that, like, pillar, big tower take.
I wish we had player interviews. I would love to ask about that barbed wire. Like, is that to set up? They don't even have any C4. Like, why? Is that just for info?
Maybe just
Like, if they
stop an early rush
expect
or something.
Yeah, or if they expect SSG to like rotate there late in the round,
Yeah.
then you get a clue.
We've talked about that yesterday, about the whole everyone else pushes one side, and then you just see one guy late rotate, like a blitz or something, rotate that bunker side. So yeah, I think that could be pretty important here for Sonics.
It's always interesting when people place utility
Aggressively.
outside like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
fair
of
enough.
aggressively, Sonics currently in this round looks like anything but. I believe all 5 bodies are on the site. They are playing full bunker, and it makes sense considering their lineup. Wamai, Smoke, Goyle, a lot of time waste, a lot of utility waste. Even got Thorn, I guess, for extra info, I would imagine, too. And for extra time waste, if SSG try to push somewhere, that Thorn trap is going to go off, and it's going to force them back. Almost like a pseudo pseudo proximity alarm. SSG do have plenty of tools to deal with stuff like the Goyos and those traps, though. They've got the Twitch. Fultz has already used both drones. Not quite sure if they're still alive. Grimm's Bees coming out pretty early as well, maybe for some preliminary info. Kind of confused as to why they're so early when you're not going to be.
Well,
you're not even
he's still
thinking about
got
pushing.
he's still got a lot left, and he can sort of make sure the Sonics
Yeah.
are just spread out a little bit. I just think you wanted to see if there's anyone playing behind that shield. Of course, there will be. They are going to rotate their push. It looks like it's predominantly coming from that big tower pillar side. Like I said at the start of the round, but we'll see at least some pressure coming out from Freezer as the smoke starts to come down. Goyos are going to get popped, but the Grims are going to come down for that pillar push. Rexon gets Ashen as well. It's all going to start to get shut down. Rexon and Grix are both getting their kills. Another pillar drop coming out, but the kill will come through from Forrest, but he will get shut down in response to possible trade. No! It's a double kill from Grixer, and Atom finishes things off beautifully from SQ. No roam game from them, but they were just able to play that perfectly and completely stop that pillar drop.
Yeah, stopping that 6-0 half, I think, put Sonics back in the game. With how SSG have looked on their attack so far, especially against LG yesterday, I think Sonics still have a chance to at least take this to overtime. And SSG there, the issue looked like maybe mistiming. Dropping the hatch before the bees came out, and Ashen completely ignored Pillar. Maybe expecting the bees to already be there, didn't see any pings and just decided to ignore it. But dropping in, right into the bees nest, you get shot in the back. There's a shotgun playing right around the corner in barrels, and you've got no one pushing bunks. So there's that barbed wire, paying dividends. They didn't hear anything through it, so the smoke did not have to worry about his backside and could just turn his attention towards
Very
D-Box.
important. Yeah, I was just about to mention that as well, but yeah, it is very important. Sonics were able to just completely concentrate around any utility dump coming from there, but I think, honestly, for SSG, they probably didn't commit as much as you would think they would. Normally, you're just seeing the absolute whole kitchen sink thrown down that pillar, and it didn't really seem like that is what happened. And didn't find the drone either. So we'll see how that upstairs defense goes for Sonics. Sonics seem to be playing a lot more reserved, though, than we saw the Space Station play.
Which is a bit odd, I feel. Usually you kind of, obviously SSG are known for those weird roams, but a lot of times they'll fall back and play very conservatively, but it's kind of been the opposite here. Drone gets shot by Merc, watching the pixel angle. There's another player inside of Armory itself that Ashen is watching for. Sees the cross, and it's a bait and switch from SQ. Ashen exposes himself far too much. Ambi gets the opening pick. Maybe mistiming there from Ashen. The Buck had not been able to apply pressure yet, so Ambi could fully focus on fighting the window, and he gets out. Oh, I spoke too soon. Actually, no, it's Merc to die.
It is Merc, yeah.
How did he die?
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate, but yeah, I can't believe Ambi got out of there, because there's a guy on Armory Pearl, there's a guy watching satellite window, there's a guy below as well, and he just runs for it. He just runs through. We've seen that a couple of times yesterday as well. People ran for it, and somehow they survived, but it's going to be a 4v4. Space Station still looking decent on this attack. They've got plenty of time to work with, and they have a decent amount of control now as they push it to that big tower side, and they can start to open it up.
Player outside on the drone. Rexon really, really wants to peek it. There's a shield. Oh, okay, so that's where he died. I assume Merc was playing on the shield, and Fultz killed him from the upside down rappel, peeking over it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's
It's
how...
a dangerous angle.
Yeah, perspective is just a little bit unfortunate. Adam gets spotted in Attic. There's also a bulletproof to aid him, though, so he doesn't have to watch it quite yet. He does have to worry about these head holes and the long angle that could potentially be held from that window, but instead he decides to fall back. So Attic has been given up by the defense. And SSG do have a man placed over there to take back control. The open soft wall peaked by Ambi. Fultz can't land the shots just yet. And the Omidus wasting his very last Selma. Rexon makes matters worse as Benjamaster goes down. There's a 4v3 advantage now for Sonics as Fultz now moves his way into the building and catches Ambi off guard. The Lamai overextends to give up the man lead.
Yeah, but they don't have any Selmas now, so they're really going to have to try and force this push through Attic and through that big tower side as well. Forrest trying to do something on this big tower, onto the double window, of course, as well as Atom desperately trying to fight back here. As we do see a white stairs push coming from Rexon trying to hold on his side, but he will go down. Fault with a triple kill on the round, and he knows someone's in this corner. Gets that AK out, the Nitro coming out from the other side, does manage to down and kill Forrest, and it's all down to Fault in a 1v2. Desperately trying to hold on here. 15 seconds left to go on the clock. He's going to creep up. They do know that he's prone on the angle. Desperately trying to find those feet. Will manage to find some damage, but Pistol has to come out now if he wants to try and find a kill. But Atom will not let him have it. Sonics take another round.
That was really close for Fultz. He knew he had both those last players cornered in kids, but Sonics played that incredibly well with the Jaeger just playing completely passive in the corner, knowing that Fultz has to swing wide in order to kill him. And if he does, you know, obviously the mute can play off his contact and finish him off, and instead it was Grixer to just straight up get aggressive as Fultz proned and hit the drop to try and kill him from under that cabinet. And in hearing that prone, I'm sure Adam was calling out to him, hey, he's prone, and that was the perfect time for Sonics to get aggressive. They played that 2v1 perfectly, and we saw kind of the same issue, you know, you highlighted it in the mid-round, the same issue from SSG that we saw on so many of Sonic's attacks, and that was in the 3v3. No Selmas, not a whole lot of utility, nothing to dislodge the Sonics defenders. So they could just sit still, stop that big window jump in, and shut down the round.
Can I say, the skin that Rexon has on, the Sonics TCSG skin, love that skin. Like one of my favorite weapon skins, totally. It's
Mr.
beautiful.
Shill.
I like that skin. I mean, you know I'm a big Cade player as well, so.
That's true. I also love the, I like the dining pick. This is a sight we don't get to see too often. My personal,
that's true. That's true.
My personal favorite hold is the Frost Small Tower hold.
Oh yeah.
Pioneered by
Popular
our good
hold.
friend Ethan Frozen, FrozenR6 on Twitter. I don't even think he's posted. I don't know why I'm saying that. But Sonics.
We'll see. They clear this upstairs area, so there's no small tower hole coming out from Sonics, but it looks like Space Station are wanting to clear top down first. They're going for those attic walls and trying to clear that area. Sonics, again, are playing pretty reserved, honestly. They're playing all downstairs, except for just Grixer here playing above. And, yeah, I don't know what you think of this. Oh, he's definitely
here
gonna
he
die.
comes! The Deagle out! What?! And he gets away! No, finally traded back, but the fact that he even got one there is crazy. Where was the drone work from SSG? I mean, that's like what they're known for. That was a very uncharacteristic lack of info from Space Station.
I think they knew that he was there, but who would do that? Who would like push through the book
Grixer would do that, I
made?
guess.
That is crazy. He's just that guy. You know, he's the main character, unfortunately. Is there a pre-placed
The main
nitro?
character goes 1-for-1. I was gonna say too, this is the first Mira we've seen all map, so I like that SSG is trying to push top down. I'm sure they would have loved to have the Buck now that they have all this control, but they are gonna be at the very able to at the very least deny both these Mira windows. There's the one split side getting popped right now. I believe. Oh no, wait, Fultz is out of Selma's, so they don't have anything to open this kitchen hatch. Mirror window getting popped by the Cade himself so he can play towards the back of dining and get that long angle in through kitchen once the attackers start to push in. A minute left now for SSG. Still drones coming out as well, but with the mirror window open, Fultz can now feel comfortable to start pushing in from meeting side.
Yeah, and Sonics has just sort of moved their whole defense over. We will see a rotate, looks like, coming either to Big Tower or to Laundry Stairs. There's a guy in the basement right now. It's Ambi going for the flank as Merc gets one, but instantly gets traded out by Fultz, turning it into a 3-3. I think this Ambi flank has big potential right now.
Here's the call from the Dokeby, and Benjamaster moving in on it, destroys Adam, and Ambi's flank gets shut down by Fultz. There's the drone work that we were talking about from SSG, and Fultz is going to be able to get that plant down. There's nothing that Rexon can do about it, and there's players all tucked in corners from SSG. Rexon is operating off of little to no info. Benja peeks right into the TCSG, though, gets his head ripped off. Fultz still in the bomb site, but J9O has fallen back all the way upstairs, knowing he can play super passive on this plant spot because the entire floor above it is soft, and Fultz gets out, reads the rotate, and from the hatch, J9O lands just enough shots to finish off the 3 armor, and SSG have stopped the bleeding. They're back in control and have map point.
should I just stop talking about what players are doing? Because I was like, oh yeah, Ambi's gonna go for this flank, and he just instantly died, you know. So we're just gonna ignore all of that. I'm just gonna talk about something else entirely, and yeah, it's gonna be match point here for Space Station. If they can win this round, if they could take away this map, which is looking very likely at this point, Sonics are in big trouble.
I would argue too that the next 2 rounds don't even matter for SSG. I mean, Sonics are going to defend Laundry and Dorms. Whatever.
Yeah.
Now
it's all going to come down to
yeah.
the tertiary site
They have
again.
to go what meeting or the dining round that just got like dismantled by SSG. But oh, look at this. Okay, I'm gonna jinx it again. I'm gonna talk about the attack.
Blitz.
SSG look like they want to end it right here. Flores, Blitz, Blackbeard. Please tell me they're about to run it down through bunker with Blitz and Blackbeard.
I really hope so, and I'm glad that they sort of switched things around here, because I know Book does sort of support that theory that they are going to go straight for that bunker rush, and bringing the Ash to deal with the mirror windows as well. And the Amaru being brought.
No Blackbeard.
Interesting. Yeah, well, we still got the Blitz.
That's true. You still have Blitz and
The
Amaru.
Flores, importantly, as well, to deal with the bunker shield.
So I imagine, you know, we talked about yesterday how LG like to play with that blitz on this map on this site, and I expect SSG probably to do the same thing. You know, the fact that they've got Flores and all this utility means it's not going to be a blitz rush. In fact, it's looking like a blitz clear.
Yeah, I like that as well. I think one of the issues Space Station had is they were wasting a lot of time on a roam clear that didn't really exist that much for Sonics last time. So they're just speeding that up a lot with the blitz, and this guy's Ash is already heading down the stairs.
That's actually pretty wild. He wants to.
Yeah.
He wants to get in there quick. Bro, what did I say at the beginning of the map? What was it? I can't remember the phrase. Down and dirty. That's what it was.
Yeah,
That's Ashen's
did say
goal
that.
here.
That's fair.
Here's the shield that hopefully the Flores is going to deal with. Where's Faults right now? Because outside, that's J9O. That's a no. That is Faults. Never mind. That's Flores. I thought the hat on Flores' silhouette was like Hibana's hood. I don't know. Sometimes
Hibana is out there as well.
Is he?
He's on the shooting range, right? It's on the other side. So we'll see Flores going through anyway.
What was he doing?
He's zipping and zamming and zooming.
That was crazy. What? That was the weirdest
because
route I've ever seen.
Normally, because you saw where Atom was aiming at, right, to try and get that Flores drone. That's a sort of just zing and zam and zooming.
Yeah, I guess so.
Should be all good. Oh, smokes are going to be coming down from the blitz, and I'm wondering if he's going to try and do anything here, but the smokes will deny that, of course. Well, there is, of course, that mine as well coming out from Thorn.
And I'm sure
He's
that's
gonna try and take away
probably what the smoke from Forest was for, was to just try and bait out some utility from Grixer so that the rest of SSG, you know, when they come in through front side and come through bunker, there's less for them to deal with. Second gas grenade already coming out on T3 from Grixer, so he's only got 1 left, and he's tucked in Harry Potter. So really the only position he's going to be able to use this on is the bunker door, while you still got other players from SSG deciding like they want to come down towards Freezer. They'll have to contest with Ambi playing behind Metal, and whoever's holding the crossfire from Laundry. The Blitz has rotated as well in through the Laundry hatch. Here he comes, evading the C4, turns his back, almost dies. I don't know how he's still alive. Ashen with the first pick gets immediately refragged. The Mira goes 1 for 1. Benjamaster's good for 2 before he ends up dying. And it's Fultz and J9O against Grixer and Adam. J9O on 1 bullet's worth of HP gets torn up by the Vector. It all stands on the Flores. Fultz against 2. The smoke in the corner. Shotgun out. This should be impossible for Fultz to win. Tries to go around the corner with the wall bang. Does not work, and there's info on him. The smoke is just playing Ring Around the Rosie, knowing he just wastes time. Ends up getting the final kill, and Sonic stay alive on map 1.
Beautifully played from Sonics there. Just instant shutdown of... Because the Blitz was rotating so much there, and it really didn't seem... you know, Space Station are looking for some kind of gap in that defense. The Sonics just did not give it up at all. And I think there wasn't really a huge amount of info from Space Station there, because you saw that the Blitz did check the shield rather than check the rotate first. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like this is why we see Grim. And I'm surprised that Space Station don't bring Grim for that execute.
I don't know, yeah, because one well-placed B would have completely cleared that corner.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sonics used it I mean, they used it. It didn't go very well for them a lot of the time, but they did use it. So you gotta give them the credit there.
Really good. That was a stalwart hold from Sonics, not being shaken by the blitz at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And we
see,
can see Sonics rotate a lot, so... yeah,
got a
we'll see this stuff.
different Dorms defense, too. Walls double reinforced, so it's not open. They're not having a shield in Master. They're not quite as far forward as they were in the previous round, but they are going to have presence below. So yet another shakeup. They've got Murph downstairs, probably going to be aiding the mute of Rexen playing in security.
Yeah. And we will see a Grim this time coming out, which I'm happy to see. And we will see a Blitz and a Capital. Because, you know, to be honest, for me, this is looking like a pretty direct take. And they're not even going to bother with whatever the hell is going on downstairs here at all. But, I mean, we are going to see Rex with the Nitro Cell heading downstairs. But other than that, there's not really a huge amount of denial other than the smoke.
Yeah, unless for some reason this ends up being like a big window white take with the Blitz.
Mm-hmm.
Blitz did spawn on that side of the map.
Could be.
And
I mean, from here, Space Station normally are just sort of positioning their Blitz where they want to push, but they're not afraid to rotate him a lot. But we will see Grim aim it up towards that Kids Dorms.
Yeah, they've got the drones. I think the end goal here is big window white area, in which case they do have to deal with these guys downstairs. They can't just allow that player in security to persist. And Rexen will end up getting the first kill. I think he was flashed.
Yeah.
He was full flashed by the Blitz and still wins the fight. Forrest went for the ADS, and that's kind of the risk you take with Blitz, is sometimes a player is just gonna let it sing and happens to be head level, especially, you know, experienced pros like Rexen. He knows where head level is, and he gets another on the Benjamaster. Now the Grim is dead. At the very least, they've got Capital, so they've still got... Okay, I thought he just died. So they've still got something to push out. Okay, but now that's the only thing they have. Merc dusts 2 people. There we go. 1 kill for J90. Looking to keep it going, but is now staring down the Oryx after Gone 6ing the barricade. Yeah. 3 for Merc, 2 for Rexen. All 5 kills happening down below.
Yeah, so clearly they need to push that guy out of security, but yeah, as soon as the Blitz died, I think it was pretty much over for Space Station. They didn't really have any way of clearing those 2 players out together, and they just completely shut it down, so absolutely incredibly well played by them. Space Station, timeout. I think that's, if you're going to use the timeout, this is when to do it, because you have to go to that tertiary site. You know Sonics are going to go there. You say, okay, let's break out the playbook, and let's see exactly what we want to do here. What is it that you think they're going to do here? I mean, first of all, let's talk about Sonics, because are they going to head back to that dining site?
I don't know. That's a pretty tough decision. The Valkyrie and the Vigil, and more importantly, the Castle, I'm feeling like this is meeting instead, with a pretty heavy emphasis on that upstairs play.
Yeah.
And I think it has to be. I mean, SSG just completely... Yeah, there's hovering on meeting. SSG just completely dismantled dining in the last round. I think that was kind of a, like, let's catch them off guard play, and that's not going to work twice.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we'll see a Flores as well coming out again, because we saw this sort of castle roam that Sonics like to do, just sort of around this, like, meeting and classroom area. It just gets completely dismantled by a Flores, and we saw that happen when Space Station defended here as well.
Do SSG swap to Flores?
That's what I'm hoping for. The Ram's pretty good here as well, to be honest, for that. So, but the Ram also does suggest quite a lot that they are going to go for that top floor take.
Yeah. Because Ram will destroy, like, obviously you can't throw it into the castle.
It'll destroy the
like, once it
castles,
goes, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got to swap to IQ. That'll counter the Valkyrie. Maybe even aid in hunting down the Vigil. We'll have to see. Hibana too. But yeah, no Flores.
No Flores. So yeah, they're gonna have to rely on the Hibana, I think, here mostly for destroying those castles. But most of the castles are placed outside anyway, so it's not gonna be too much of an issue, I don't think.
Yeah, probably not. Exterior castles always significantly weaker, easier to deal with.
Complete trash. Yeah, I agree.
You talk about that a lot when we play. There we go.
Yep.
There's one castle down, and the classroom wall being opened by False. They can sit someone outside, have that cut off on Z if Sonics decide to play near there, like SSG did. They put a lot of stock into that position. That's where Benjamaster actually got the opening pick behind that shield. And of course, SSG's main goal here is not to blow up, is to take top floor, hopefully avoid being blown up, and use that ram to its fullest capacity. They don't have the buck, but luckily, because Dorms is such like just a big box, you don't really need necessarily the flexibility of that sledge and buck provide. You send that thing in a straight line, and that floor is done for.
Yeah, completely. But there is multiple members from Sonics here on that top floor, but one of them will go down. Rexon already going down. It looks like Merc is looking to try and return it to see what he can do, but he gets smoked! Ashen puts him down in the dirt, and it's only going to be Grixer upstairs now.
He's Valkyrie.
Oh, no, he's to the castle.
Yeah, Castle coming in from... Is that a flank?
Looks like
coming
an
in through,
side flank.
and he wins it! Ashen's dead, and what a wall bang from Grixer! Are you kidding me? And the Castle of Ambi is still alive despite the presence on that T2 window. Fultz is getting chewed up. Ambi's still alive, and you can watch the long angle from Master, but it's just a drop, and J90 picks off Grixer. Now Ambi's gonna have to try and funnel back to the site and support Adam. He cannot leave this Oryx alone, as SSG might look to just quick swap, and he gets caught off by the window pressure. Fultz is still outside! I am fuming if I'm Ambi, and it's all down to the Oryx. He's got no idea where J90 is. SSG spotting the flank, spotting the heavy pressure upstairs, decide for a swap, decide to pressure the site, and it works beautifully. 7-5 on their opponent's map pick as we head on to labs.
Yeah, absolutely beautifully well played by Space Station, winning that tertiary site twice, just about by the skin of their teeth. They're looking pretty decisive there at the start, but then it all just sort of fell apart from them, and it seemed like it wasn't working well for them, but that call out timeout, that would, I think that probably paid them dividends there, and that really paid out for them.
We cannot underestimate the value of a call out timeout.
Oh,
really.
No. That's like got to be up there, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you were talking about SSG, you know, a lot of times they love to stay ahead of the curve, and that's both in-game and out of game. And a lot of that is down to the fabulous work of Mr. Callout. But yeah, Oregon, SSG look a hell of a lot better than they did yesterday. Still a little bit shaky on the attack, but I mean, at the end of the day, they still took those requisite 2 rounds that they needed. So all in all, still a success. We'll see what Labs holds, if they can kind of turn the story around from what we saw yesterday once again. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Map 2 just after this.
$60 million!
You've been seeing that a lot, right? What does it all mean, though? Here's my friend Alex Machine Richardson to help explain.
So, 60 mil, 20 tournaments, 8 weeks. You probably already know. But how does a club prove themselves to be the very best in the world? That is where the Esports World Cup Club Championship comes in.
The Club Championship is where things really heat up. $20 million awarded to the top 16 clubs, with the newly crowned best club in the world awarded an astonishing $7 million.
Wait, so how does that actually work?
It's simple. We've got 20 tournaments. In each tournament, the top 8 teams get awarded points towards their club championship total. The higher you place, the more points you get. Now, these points are worth the same in all titles, so it is important to not put all of your eggs in one basket. But it's important to remember that the club champion needs to win at least one individual game tournament.
Nice. So we'll probably be seeing clubs trying to qualify across a range of games to have the best chance of getting their hands on $7 million.
Yeah, man. There's your incentive. More clubs, across more games, more competition.
And so the race begins. This summer, we will crown the best esports club in the world.
Welcome back, everyone, to what could potentially be the final map of the NA quals. SSG lead 1-0 after taking SQ's map. Now we go on to Labs, and this is a game of SQ versus SSG is we don't play this map versus we're mid at this map. And sometimes playing a map and just being okay at it is better than not playing it at all.
You said that during the break. I didn't think that was
did.
part of your serious analysis, but
I was gonna bring it up.
yeah, no, okay, that's fair enough. I think that this was kind of a big risk for Sonics, for Space Station picking this. But yeah, as you said, like Sonics have barely played this map at all. I mean, they played against Beast Coast and lost 7-2. So other than that, they just don't play this map. So Space Station, we did see them lose it yesterday. I think it's a bit of a risk them going here because Sonics are going to know what they're doing. But Sonics probably just didn't expect a Nighthaven pick. So who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, and this map is not in their pool, and we were also mentioning during the break, we saw another map that wasn't in their pool yesterday on Border, and Sonics lost it. They didn't look fantastic on Border, so we'll have to see what Labs has in store for us. Sonics, of course, starting on the defense, as this is SSG's pick. Something else that we saw from SSG that was very different from yesterday to today, the scorelines. Yesterday, after the 2-map loss, we had Ashen was 18-18, so he was just even. Everyone else on the squad was negative. After map 1 here, Ashen, double-digit kills. Benja, double-digit kills. Faults, double-digit kills. The worst they had was Forest at 7-7. So it seems like now that they're kind of allowed to play a more standard game, they've got that confidence back, and they've got that firepower back.
Ooh, Tubero, Ben. We did see Tubero being played quite a lot yesterday. So, especially on Nighthaven, so I'm not entirely surprised by that ban, but it is, a little bit out there. And a clash match coming through. Sonics clearly paid attention yesterday to how dangerous this clash was yesterday for Space Station. It was kind of the only thing that Luminosity had no answer to. Everything else they were doing well against.
Yeah, it was just that clash, and I would argue that that upstairs site is like one of the best clash sites in the game. She's so good
I
there.
agree.
And SSG, and I wonder if it's like related to SSG's proficiency on Monty, being able to figure out that clash, because she's kind of just like Monty on defense. Well, not exactly the same, but similar concept. But in banning that clash, Sonics have left up, the Mira that they're playing, the Valkyrie and the Azami, the former of which I expect, we'll see in due time. But they've left a lot of very powerful defenders on the board, and so Sonics are probably banking on taking, attempting to take like a 5-1 half here like we just saw on Oregon, because, we've seen SSG's defenses are mean. They're really good, and if they have all those defenders up at their disposal, I really hope that Sonics take more than a 4-2 here.
Yeah, complete attacker repicks coming out from the attack here at Space Station. They're going to see what they can do with this. The Nomad being brought. This kind of suggests a meeting side push. I mean, we normally see that on this take anyway. I don't know. What do you think about that? Because, I mean, they're bringing the Ashe probably to counter against the Mirror as well.
Yeah.
I know.
They've got Striker, too, for EMPs and flashbangs. I feel like that's a bit odd. Usually when we see Striker played, it's either Hard Breach Charge and EMPs or flashes and nades / smokes, like something like that. First Striker being played too. We saw some Sentry last map. This is the first Striker we've got. So that combo's a little bit interesting, but Ashen has already worked his way in and is just sitting under the hatch, daring one of these Sonics players to drop through. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Ashen just, like, sits here. But no, okay, he is actually going to go to work. And instead of using the Ashe Breach Charge to break the Mira, he'll do it from below. Shoot it out completely.
It also means now that that Mira can't even play near there on that close angle, but will be open up below. So that's really good, actually. Yeah.
I'm really interested to see...
good setup.
I'm interested to see how they deal with this security player.
Setup.
That was, not only the Azami player setup, but just the player in security too. And already he's got 1 kill, refragged a couple times, so ends up being 2 versus 2. Or sorry, 2 for 2 on that electrical hold. That was something that SSG really struggled with yesterday, and I guess the solution they figured was, at this point, just trade him out.
Yeah. just throw bodies at it, and sometimes it does just work out for you. We are going to see that fountain through for Ashen to see what he can do here, but Merc on the opposite side is going to pick up Jnano. He's just going to tank that barbed wire, which of course now does do actually damage. I realized there's a shield there. This isn't looking too good for me after all anyway, because of course he has no Ash charges left. Bolts on the opposite side, however, managed to push him through those rafters. Does manage to get the mirror window. Looks like a trade is going to come through here.
Oh!
Bolts does actually pick up one for his time, however, and it's all down to Ambina 1v1.
He's already softened up Ashen quite a bit, and he's got pings on him too. They've got info on this Ashe, but Ambi loses the fight! Ashen with a disgusting shot. I gotta see this. Ooh! And the You're My Son in chat, too. SSG with a lead-off attack, and with, I mean, we just talked about how important going up 4-2 or ideally 5-1 on this half is. SSG have already put themselves in prime position.
Yeah, incredibly well played there by Ashen just to bring that back, because honestly, after those trades went through, and it sort of didn't look that too great for Space Station, and as soon as, you know, Ashen rotated, and he sees that shield, I thought it was over.
Yeah.
But it actually turned out pretty well in the end, and I think that was just completely brought back, one, by Faults getting that incredible kill as well from the double peak, and then, of course, as well, we did see Ashen just close out the round. So, good recovery from Space Station, and that's actually a super important round, because, as we said, it looks like Sonic, you know, banning, letting a lot of powerful defenders go through. They might be looking for that 5-1.5.
That is probably the best start SSG could have asked for, is now they have to attack onto tank, where, you know, we mentioned it so many times yesterday that if you're not playing upstairs, you are extending and you are putting everything you have in that extension. Looks like with the exception of just a couple Goyo canisters, just to make sure the site isn't completely naked. But utility, barricades, plenty of bodies are going on upstairs. Even the Animus hatch getting open for a fallback plan. And SSG, they've got the Lion and they've got the Dokkaebi. And they're going to be very interested in challenging this realm directly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we saw it yesterday as well. We saw a lot of Jackal, a lot of Dokkaebi. But this kitchen position was almost impossible to clear out because there's just boost spots absolutely everywhere, and Rexon will be the first one to fall for Benjamaster, so good on that roam clear already.
This guy has just been incredible in the opening picks so far today, but Ashen, the hero of last round, will have to take a seat now as we equalize 4 apiece. And Benjamaster is also very low, but Ambi has no idea that Forrest has pushed in lobby side. 4 versus 3, 2 minutes remaining, and these bodies from Sonics are falling. Now 2 players are stuck on these aqua stairs. Merc daring someone to push in through this hallway. He's got a couple Kiba barriers set up, castle barricades to aid him too, but it looks like SSG are just trying to push into the site. Fultz gets the kill on Adam. That's the only anchor, and he's getting this plant down. There's nothing that these last 2 defenders can do about it.
Yeah, no retake potential for them. They're going to have to play above on that vertical, trying to get some kind of kill. Merc doesn't know there's someone here. The bomb is
the patience!
J90 with
This is
extreme
incredible.
Patience gets the drone out. He's ready for the push to start to come in. Merc does go down and leaves it all to Grixer in a 1v4.
I know for a fact, J90, when the observer cut away, I know for a fact J90 just went for the teabag there. Walking up to his body. probably hit the teabag and then hack the cams. What a call from SSG. Doing literally what we just saw on the final round of last map, saying, wait a minute, both these guys are Aqua? There's only one dude on site. let's just hit it. Fultz got the kill. Even if Fultz dies there, even if 2 players on SSG die there, and the anchor goes 2 for 1, SSG still win the round, because those 2 last defenders are so far afield from anything having to do with the site. There was no way for them to stop the plant. And then just to add insult to injury, J90 in that corner. I thought as soon as the Azami went prone, J90 was going to swing. Holy patience. I don't think I've ever seen a more like disciplined player than that.
Oh yeah, no, that was absolutely beautiful. And as you saw there at the end, Grixers just said, look, this is an impossible situation to need to win. Let's just stop, let's just talk. You can see certain members on Space Station were unhappy about that for playing for stats, but sometimes you just gotta sit down and talk a little bit, because this situation just went from bad to worse for Sonics.
They lost 2 rounds now. The maximum that Sonics can get here is 4, but SSG setting that tempo, being up 2-0, if they even take 1 round here, I'm almost like, obviously you never want to call the game early, you never want to jinx it, but if SSG take 3, I'm really, really worried about the attacking half.
Yeah, and we were talking about, like, this should be very defender-sided right now. Can't be understated that Azami up on Nighthaven, like, she's an Avenger, you know? That's an Avenger-level threat right there. So, it should be very, very defender-sided right now, and the fact that Sonics have just lost 2 core sites and haven't been able to do much about it is not great, especially how decisive that last round was for Space Station. I was talking about that kitchen hold, and Ambi just getting picked up in the hallway like that and unable to hold that kitchen for very long. When we saw how Luminosity was just so devastating there yesterday, that's not a great start.
Both Luminosity and SSG. We saw, I think, Wi-Fi had like 2 big plays there. Jane, I know, had a 3K from Kitchen. Not seeing shades of that just yet from Sonics. Fultz attempting to get this breach down on Connector. It's going to go through completely uncontested. And something else that Sonics aren't bringing that we saw a whole lot of from both SSG and LG was wall denial. We had Bandit tricking, we had Cades and Ashen with a dirty angle from the boost spot outside. Wow. That's the dude. If I'm Ambi, I'm pissed.
Ambi has died in a few ridiculous ways this series, so yeah, I'm not.
Dude, even like last map, the last round, Fultz was outside in the
outside
3v3
on the school bus.
Like, I feel so bad for Ambi.
No, it's not going well for him at all, but it is going to be that 5v4, Ambi already down, and we're going to see a potential push here just quickly all the way through. Benjamin has to get 2 as well. Merc and Rex, everyone is just dead. It's an absolute disaster for Sonics as Space Station just completely flood the site all at the same time. As Sonics, I got to say that, it's 3-0 down. I'm going to request a timeout after that one.
SSG, I mean, honestly, I can't believe we even posed this question earlier where we were like, man, how much can SSG really change in less than 24 hours? This is Call Out we're talking about. I can't believe, why would we underestimate him? SSG have done this before. Yeah, they've literally done this before where they've got one, like, I forgot what event it was. Was it SI? Either this year or a couple years ago. Like, they played one map, were super bunker heavy, like every single defense, bunker, 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 and then played the map the very next day, and every round they were roaming, like super aggressive. It was completely different. So SSG are showing that right now. That last round was perfect. Ashen with an angle that I've never seen anyone get a kill before in competitive play. That was wild. And then the timing from Benjamaster and Fultz on the ace there, because Benja got 1. Decided to take the space. Even if he dies there, Fultz was immediately there to swing the trade. Now that both defenders are isolated, Forrest is getting active, and you're not going to win a 1v1 against a Blitz when Forrest isn't ADSing.
Yeah,
Perfect play from SSG.
SSG get the opening pick, and they just realized we can flood the site. We can just play the trades. And that's exactly what they did. They did it beautifully. We're going to see that downstairs defense again. This went absolutely terrible for Sonics last time. Just that straight hit onto the site. Space Station have done that a few times where they've just gone straight for direct takes. They've given up on the roam game. We talked a lot on this map yesterday about verticality, and we really haven't seen Sonics abuse that much, to be honest.
And SSG are kind of abusing that right back, seeing that Sonics, yes, are extending, but it's like the extension just stops there. It's in and of itself just an extension. They don't have the extension plus the ability to exude that extra presence downwards onto the bomb site. So SSG are saying, okay, if they've got this whole extension going on, we can just hit the site. There's nothing they can do about it. As soon as they get the first couple kills, they're just flooding in. Even upstairs, when Sonics are extended only a couple rooms away, SSG, you talked about get that kill and then immediately flood. Now, unfortunately, they don't get the Cade, which is like right in the middle on the side of the wall. I guarantee the radius of that EMP was like pixels away.
Yeah, unfortunately, they will not be able to get from that wall whatsoever. Nitro Cell is going to go out, however, and it's not going to be able to get anyone, but it is going to open up that angle.
SSG, look at that ram. Look at Benjamaster again. The patience coming out from him, waiting for the opportunity. Grixer getting droned out. Lion scan coming through. And Forrest starting to take space. Dokubi called the boot. Adam maybe starting to feel it a little bit here on Raptors, setting up these Kivas, blocking off the window to make his position a little bit safer. A much slower round from SSG so far, which is good for Sonics. They haven't lost any bodies, and we're past the minute mark. The Ram now starting to do her work, opening up those castle barricades. Just around the corner is our possible first fight, and Benjamaster's going to straight up win it. They do get a trade. Ambi's dead. But that is now the only, now that Adam's gone, the only off-site players, I believe. Except for Grixer, who's now forced to come back to site, but he's not going to look lobby. Oh, he's worried about it. Just sees the buck around the corner, wins the fight. But in the meantime, Ashen's killed Rexen. There's only one guy down on the bomb site. Mercs kills Ashen, and Grixer surprises J90 despite just getting a kill from that hallway. He is low HP. This is a very winnable fight for Benjamaster. They've got the pings as well, but he's very scared of that shotgun, rightfully so. Now in the 1 versus 2, might just ignore Grixer because they've got the info on him. No, just red pinging away. Pre-fire should come through, but through the floor! Merc with the hole from below. Finally, SQ are now on the board.
Yeah, I literally, as I was talking about verticality not being used by Sonics, they get a kill for the last round, just through the verticality. So much better from Sonics. I think they did much better just to shut down that aggressive play from Space Station, and they played out the trades, and it went beautifully their way. I think also just abusing those boost spots a lot more as well. There was so many. We talked about it yesterday during the Mid-Aussies game, but there's so, like, every time you walk into a room, there's like 10 million spots you can get a shot from.
Yeah.
Like, Sonics abused that a lot better this time.
Playing it a little bit more passively, too. I thought it was really going to cost them the round where SSG started to get a couple free picks, but the flank from Grixer, too, working out for 2 kills. I mean, killing the buck was one thing, but also getting the drop on J90, who I'm really surprised was not expected that. Neither here nor Benja were watching the fallback from Grixer. Was a little bit odd. I guess just didn't have a flank drone set up. Maybe, you know, another symptom of the mute being played by Sonics, which was, did they play it the last time they had no, they did not have it the last time they played that site.
Okay, so good adaptation coming up from them. Anyway, we're going to be moving on. It's going to be that top floor defense once more from Sonics. Hasn't ended out too well for them. They've completely dropped the mirror this time, however. What do you think about that?
Maybe feeling like they were a little too comfortable behind the mirrors. I don't know, because SSG played around them really well.
Yeah, but Space Station have been able to just take out the mirrors pretty easily because Sonics just don't play below at all very well. So, you know, what are you actually really getting out of the mirror there in that situation?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Instead, they've opted to bring the Valkyrie, and we've seen a lot of Valkyrie being played on Nighthaven recently, so I think that's pretty good, and I'm liking the Maverick being brought here from Space Station just to avoid those tricky cage charges as well. And also to be able to split up, you know, Thatcher and Ace can go to one side, Maverick and Buck can go to the other side, and they can get everything open. And talking about opening picks as well, now Rexen onto Ashen. That's a star player.
That is the first opening pick that Sonics have had all game, I believe. Great job to Rexen. Like you said, star player. Also the Dokubi. So Call's no longer going to be active with no mute on the board. That's a really, really good first pick. And it looks like was that just on... Was that on the door or out the breach?
I think it was out the door.
Oh!
Oh.
Nice C4 from Grixer. Valkyrie, I'm surprised this is the first we've seen her. Luckily, Forrest is able to get a refrag for SSG. And now Fultz makes his way in, but nice angle from Merc to cut him down. 2 versus 4 for Benjamaster and Forrest. One of them working their way up towards Rafters. That's Benja with that pick. So the Azami goes down. Flashbang to lead his way through. Needs help from Forrest, though. He's the one that's got the case. Drone to come out as well, just to get a quick bit of info. Now the dust settles. We're at a standstill. Sonics now looking to kind of recollect themselves. This 1v1 between Forrest and whoever's playing by Electrical might decide the round.
Yeah, might just flashbang going through so that Benja can rotate.
Oh, nice!
Gets the pick, but doesn't manage to get it just yet. The push coming through here as well. Pre-fires coming up from Benja. but it needs to be Forrest. He needs to go for the rotate, and he needs to get the pick. Coming through onto Pillar, hopping through into the site. He has Diffuser, and he will start to go for the plant. Free fire coming out from Benja, just down Merc, but it does get traded out by Grixer, and it's a 1v1, and he will win it! Grixer finishes it off for Sonics.
Excellent play from Grixer. It looked like they had the pings too, still maybe some of those Valkyrie cameras lingering out, despite a heroic play from Benjamaster, playing it perfectly, sneaking up Raptors, killing the Azami, the flashbang to cover his cross to open the way for Forrest. I think really the only mistake there was maybe Forrest trying to stick the plant instead of taking the fight with Benjamaster once the defender started to 2v1 him. I obviously understand why they were going for the plant and what Forrest was going for, but I think, it's just one of those heat-of-the-moment decisions where if he ends up taking that fight with Benja instead of relying on Benja covering in a 2 versus 1, that could be a completely different round because both defenders were so focused on the buck. But that wasn't the case. Forrest just ended up losing the 1v1 down to some really good positioning from Grixer and the Valkyrie, who finally gets played. Her utility, not only the Valkyrie herself, but also her utility winning the round, not only with the final kill, but that really, really important C4 from below too.
Yeah, no, that C4 was absolutely game-changing there. Sonics are starting to claw things back right now, but even if Sonics win this round, this is not a good half. As long as you can bring it to 3-3, it's definitely recoverable. But 3-3 half with these bans on Night Haven, you've got to give the advantage to Space Station here, and Sonics have really got to, pull their straps up if they want to bring this in.
Especially now, going onto the tertiary bomb site, we're going on storage.
Yeah.
Which is really, really tough to defend a lot of the time, especially depending on where SSG decide to go. The Mira's going to come back. I am glad that, they haven't dropped the Valkyrie for Mira, so they're bringing both now. SSG, they've got Lions still, they've got Bucks. They're probably looking to take that top floor control, and Ashen is on the Nook as well. Seeing how important that Valkyrie has been.
Yeah.
He's sneaking his way in with the help of this Buck. In he comes. They know the castle is in the corner. Pre-fire is going to miss, but Fultz luckily has his back. That's an opening kill once again for SSG.
Yeah, Fultz from the opposite side doing great to hop in that window, get that frag. And that's a free kill as well. There's been no trade potential there from Sonics, and we talked about how that kitchen area is so important for the defenders and so good for the defenders to hold on to. So Space Station have done a really good job at just clearing that out instantly, rotating around. We've got our free pick. Let's move around. Let's do something else now. We saw a little bit of that Nook yesterday, and we saw how devastating the Nook has been. And as you said, great counter pick there from Valkyrie. Space Station, another great adaptation from them.
Yeah, I think and yet another kill? Ooh. Yeah, Mira has no idea. Ashen lurking below kills the only player downstairs. So not only is that verticality on that window dealt with, but also a C4. But Grixer has rotated down, maybe looking to hunt that Nook. But in the meantime, Lion Scan goes off. They're pushing in through the window. Fultz takes a little bit of damage, but Merc is starting to feel the pressure. Forrest with a TK, but Benja still kills Merc anyway. Ends up being a 1-for-1, which honestly, if I'm SSG, now that I have site control, I take that. Forrest is starting the plant. In comes the Valkyrie. Forrest takes the fight and loses it, and so does Ashen. We're back to even. The fight from Sonics is still there. They are hungry for this 3-3 half. The case is now dropped in the bomb site, and J90 has to try to find some way to get in with Benjamaster still outside the building, now creeping his way towards garage. They're working off of very little info. They don't know where this player is upstairs, who by now could have made plenty of holes. There's one to watch that window jump in. He's got to worry about his backside, though. He's a little bit paranoid. Hopefully the timing works out for him so he can catch if that player ends up jumping in. There's 25 seconds left. SSG are going to have to make a move in the next 5 or so. In comes the window jump in, but Adam wasn't watching it. The drone will confirm the Valkyrie, but there's Adam finally able to strike late. J90, now the last member standing, has to hunt down this Valkyrie. 9 seconds remaining and loses the fight to Grixer. Sonics claw back a 2v4 with the help of a TK and the retaken position upstairs.
Complete disaster there for Space Station. Just that micro mistake of Benja not having opened that verticality yet while the plant was going down. Just that small mistake just allowed Sonics to completely retake that round into their favor. You'd think Space Station, with how disciplined they're known for being, they would take a second, make sure they got all their ducks in order while they're in that 4v2 and not let it get away from them before they go for that plant. But yeah, absolute disaster coming out from Space Station there. But 3-3 half, I think they can walk away from that pretty happy.
Yeah, honestly, what was surprising too is like how good SSG's like 3-2-1s have been, right? Like with the flash from Benja to swing for the kill in the round that they lost on round 5, the kill, false jumping in to kill that castle after the Nook whiffed a little bit. So seeing them, it wasn't just mistiming, it was just mispositioning as well. Like that, such egregious play from SSG. It was a little bit surprising, but, like you said, 3-3 half, I'm sure they're not terribly worried about it. Now they can go on the defense. They've got the benefit of Mira and Azami, and it looks like they are going to be playing people below to protect said Miras, something that Sonics were not doing.
Yeah, no, we did talk about that, and I think that's a major reason why the mirror was completely dropped from Sonics, because they just couldn't protect them at all with the way that they wanted to play. We saw how Sonics on Oregon as well were playing very much around their defense. Not a massive roam coming up on them, but Space Station, of course, as you just said, they are going for that roam, they are protecting the Mirrors downstairs, and in a way to deal with that roam, we are going to see Deimos being brought out by Sonics.
Yeah, Deimos, I feel like could be a really important operator on Labs because of all that verticality. That Revolver does really good destruction on those floors, and of course you have wall hacks. That's Deimos as an operator is the concept of just having wall hacks kind of for free is really funny. But of course the defender does get some info back. You can kind of see where Deimos is, which is why sometimes you'll see a team have the Deimos kind of sitting right outside the building or spawn and calling for his team rather than being the person to actively take the gunfight. But Mute being played by SSG as well, maybe hampering some of the drone work from Sonics. We see Benjamaster all the way in the basement, maybe working for a late flank or a crucial C4 like we saw from Sonics.
Yeah, could be. We do have that pre-placed C4, of course, being played, and yeah, this sort of electrical area has always been a critical area, and we talked in the SSG Luminosity game that SSG were really struggling to clear that area out effectively, and just sort of, they just need to throw bodies at it. We'll see if they can hold it very effectively though, and wow, good coordination there just to get onto that Mew Gemma, get rid of the death mark, and make sure that Deimos can't do much.
I am a little bit confused though why that doesn't waste a death mark. Why does he get that back?
The drone just flies back and realizes that it wasn't,
oh wait,
it wasn't
he's
there.
standing on a jammer. I guess I'll leave. I guess he gets the death mark back, so it's kind of no harm, no foul. But SSG, for the longest time, it looked like they had a player meeting, but I think that was just a bug with the meeting side, but I think that was just a bug with the silhouettes. This is the angle, by the way, that Ashen got that kill onto Ambi from. We have Grixer trying his luck. Forrest getting lit up and finally finished off by Merc as Ashen goes down to Adam as well. 2 picks in a row, unanswered for SQ. Make that a third as J90 falls to the floor. Benjamaster and Fultz face down a 2 versus 5. There's one for Benja. A follow-up from the Azami, but instantly traded out by Grixer, crouching his way under that Kiba. Benjamaster now staring down 3 players if he wants to win this round, opening the wall, sees the Maverick, but there's coverage from the long angle from the doorway as well. Benjamaster cannot get in without killing both of these players, but they know exactly where he is, and the plant is down. He sees the foot, but can't land a single shot on him. He's going to have to waste a little bit more time, tap away at his legs. Now he can't see it, and he won't even win the fight. Merc turns it around on him, and Sonics, for the first time this map, take the lead.
Absolutely beautifully played from Sonics, but maybe we've got this the wrong way around. Maybe this is somehow an attacker side in Nighthaven.
Maybe.
For some reason.
Maybe it's looking like it.
Maybe the tuber and the clash were the linchpins here.
Yeah, I'm really, really surprised that we haven't seen any Fenrir play. With how,
that's really true.
Door-centric every single site on this map is. Now we've got Fenrir.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. I think we've just seen the Azami being picked as a preference because normally you're just not allowed to play Azami at all. So I think people just got happy they finally get to play Azami once.
He's excited.
Yeah.
Yippee!
But yeah, no, you are right. Fenrir is pretty essential here, and you're going to see him being picked up this time. Space Station. Yeah, losing that first round, that's not great for them. But they are going to be heading downstairs this time.
They've got Valkyrie and Mira still as well. Decided to drop that Azami, who I guess they just don't view as quite as integral to their extensions, at least on this site in particular. They don't really have anything to stop the breach either. But Sonics have also only brought a Maverick. So when they breach, it's going to be quite a time commitment. That was scary for Ambi, almost getting caught by that window. And actually, SSG have left the whole wall soft, which ends up giving up that mirror window in sight. So the mirror window that's supposed to stare directly at that primary breach where we see most attacks try to funnel through is no longer usable.
Yeah, well played by Atom there, just to view that as well. And we've been talking about how good the Ash is to counter the mirror, and this looks like Sonics are just gonna push the breach, and we don't need any verticality. We're gonna flash everything in. But J9 is just gonna say, actually, you do need to fight back, and the Oath Shield is gonna get deep and go for the
C4.
Bolt managed to get one. The C4 goes out, but Ambi's gonna go for the cover, and above, Ambi does get kills. The plan's gonna start to go down. Ambi with a triple kill as Merc finds one of his own. It's all down to Fultz all of a sudden to try and find the diffuser.
The round has completely fallen apart thanks to just one man, but I guess make it 2, 3 kills for Ambi. Down on the breach, covering the plant, 2 upstairs for Merc, making sure that no one on SSG could use that verticality against them that the extensions are so important for, and that's going to prompt a timeout from SSG. 2 really, really good rounds from Sonics, and some excellent shots being hit by Ambi. I mean, just killing... who was that with the C4? I think that was Fultz on the mute.
Yeah.
Just killing him. That kill alone probably saved the round.
Wasn't Fultz upstairs? Wasn't he the last one to survive?
Was he? The who? Oh, was that Benjo with the
Yeah, I think so.
the C4 then? I don't know. They had like 3.
Yeah. Yeah, all denied.
Fultz was
Yeah,
the one last.
absolutely beautiful play from Sonics there, and making sure that they're going to get those 2 rounds on the board. And yeah, this is crazy, because if this was the other way around, right, and Sonics had started off this 2-0, we would have said, oh yeah, Sonics are looking beautiful right now. This is crazy. Attacker side in Nighthaven, I didn't think I'd ever see it, not in my lifetime. Especially with these bans. Like, we've seen it before, but with all these really powerful operators left up, I mean, maybe SSG just don't have as concrete of a defense upstairs without that clash. This was, I believe, one of their weaker sites yesterday against LG. If I can go ahead and reference my notes real quick on labs. SSG were able to successfully defend tank both times they played it. Interesting.
So I don't know. I don't know what happened between yesterday and today.
Sonics happened, clearly.
Yeah, I guess that's the only answer. Sonics figured it out. Just have
So we're gonna
Ambi kill 3 people. They're trying to throw C4 at Azosa.
Yeah. This time, we're going to see the Legion being brought by the Benja Master, and it looks like he is going to play there in that kitchen area. And, I say we've talked about it. It's pretty much me who's been talking about how important the kitchen is and how hard it is to push someone out there. You see that? Here's the flip side, Charmon. Damn.
Oh, yeah, he does. Shout out Flipside. That's a throwback.
That's a throwback.
Do you remember the original 5? Can you name them right now?
Yes. God. Let's not get into that while we're still clearing.
I think you just don't know.
I'm sure I could probably name them.
I think you don't know the original 5. Shout out Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy, whatever he's doing nowadays. Great name.
Alright, well, we're going to see the drones and the clears coming out from Sonics in the meantime, and they're obviously going to be afraid of that flip side charm.
Absolutely. Does that power him up?
Yeah, I think so. I think
it's like the Bolo charm.
Yeah.
He's just gonna dunk on He's gonna pull out the revolver like easy.
Oh yeah.
start one tapping people. He's still upstairs, and Ashen gets the lead off kill onto Ambi. So the hero of last round is gonna have to take a seat. Down goes the Buck too, a really important operator with how much soft destruction is available. Just the ram is typically not enough, and he's already used a drone all the way on the top floor. But Benjamaster does not expect Merc to be all the way pushed up in the hallway, despite the default cam being up. All 5 members of SSG were alive, so no one's watching it. We got 2 players now looking to pressure in through IT. The double swing comes out, and it is successful. The down from Fultz, the finish from Ashen, make that another for Ashen. 2 kills on the round as Merc hits the floor. The Ace desperately trying to get a refrag back, but is unable to. Grixer does kill Forrest inside the bomb site, very quickly hops out, doesn't want to get collapsed on. Now Sonics need to slow things down, figure out what the plan is, because both of them are very separated, and the man who's just outside the breach is not the one with the case.
Yeah, but, you know, in the meantime, Space Station don't know that, and they know they've just lost a man on site, so they've got 2 guys upstairs. It might just be that Sonics just decided, hey, we're just going to take the 2v1 on site. Space Station going to be panicking a little bit here as they try and rotate their defense.
I think they did just hear the cam get shot, though, and now they definitely know that this guy is going to be lurking down the exo stairs. Fultz is on the flank, and Ashen went down, I believe, the other side towards Cargo. So SSG are slowly making their way back to site. There's a mirror window that this Ace now has to contest with, and the longer he stays here, the sooner that Fultz flank is going to come through. Grixer also has to fight against a mirror window and gets very swiftly taken out. Ashen dies in the middle of the bomb site, but J90 makes sure that it doesn't slip out of SSG's hands. 1 round back to the defenders. They've stopped the bleeding, at least for now. We'll see if that's enough to stump the momentum from Sonics.
Yeah, really good roam from Space Station, just essentially, right? But the double swing coming through onto IT, I think those plays completely won them the round, but we are going to see the Glads maybe potentially on the round. Yeah, that could be interesting.
On storage? Is this a window rush, perhaps?
Potentially. I mean, we did see it yesterday.
Please, please.
We did see it, and did that work out well? I remember it happened. I don't remember how well it worked though.
From Sonics?
No, yesterday in the Luminosity game, in Space Station. Pretty sure Luminosity tried it.
Because Sonics did it on Border. I know.
Yeah.
And it worked. Actually, both teams did it, and it worked for both of them. Yesterday, I don't know if LG ever really rushed on this map. They did that Glass blitz play on Garage on Consulate, but they didn't really do any of that on this map in particular.
Well, they're not going to bring it, but we are going to see the Zofia for the first time today. Let me see the Grim. Yeah, it's funny to me because every time that a new operator comes out, Mute just gets another buff. We've seen Mute in almost every single round, both today and yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Just because of how good he is right now.
I'm so glad Mute is good. Remember when Mute was really mid? Isn't that crazy to think about?
Yeah, and he hasn't even really changed since then. It's just passively got better.
More and more people. That and they finally gave him the SMG-11. Remember when you were pretty much forced to run the MP5?
Yeah, I remember. I remember.
Those are the days.
They should bring it back.
That's crazy. I still can't believe Sledge doesn't have his. Makes me sad. Are we dating ourselves with that again? Oh my god, how long has it been since that happened? Since they gave Mute the SMG-11 and took it away from Sledge.
I mean, I remember when Thatcher didn't have a shotgun, so...
Yeah, despite it being in his picture.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Well, we are going to see some kind of push through here with the Grims.
Yeah. Utility. Into the bomb site, too. I don't know if they're going to... This might just be initial utility, just to see if anyone's kind of playing around that pillar while destruction comes out from below. So no exact push coming out from Sonics just yet. So they've used a couple Grims. They've used one of the Lion EE1Ds. They've used an impact from Zoe. They've opened up, I believe, the IT wall upstairs. Forrest is going to have the floor fall beneath him. The C4 comes out, and it's going to get the kill on Ambi. Adam does refrag onto Fultz, so it's 1-for-1, and Forrest is fighting for his life against the Zofia. Off screen, though, Merc goes down. There's Forrest finally winning it out, and SSG are looking prime and ready to tie this game up. But Grixer says, not if I have anything to say about it. Puts us into a 2 versus 3, but Rexon is still outside the building. Grixer's upstairs alone, and I believe the case is dropped inside the bomb site.
Yeah, beautiful C4 coming out. They're completely denying that entry, and Sonics are left in a pretty bad position as Rexon trying to make his way downstairs, but just gets his head taken clean off by J90, and it's all down to Grixer.
Is J90 the best castle player in NA?
It's entirely possible.
This guy has been, like, even against LG when they were losing, this guy has been crazy with the UMP. And now Grixer's just going to try and go for something, flashbang through to facilitate the drop, playing up close against the Mute. Almost wins the fight, but Benja hits the deck! I cannot believe he won that, but drop shot with the shotgun. I mean, good enough, I guess. SSG now 2 in a row after the timeout. It's a tie game. Call Out has worked his magic, and SQ have already taken theirs. So there's nothing they can do to stop SSG's momentum other than straight up just winning a round.
It's just the call out timeout again. You can't
It really
underestimate the power of the call out timeout.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
He is that guy. He is that coach.
So
Even though,
Go on.
I was going to say, even though I think the call-out timeout actually had like an abysmal success rate at the major, but right now it's working.
Right now it's working. It's just Esports World Cup, you know, it's just a different kind of angle entirely, you know.
I mean, hey, it's got a bigger prize pool than the major, doesn't it?
But there you go then. He's just saving up the power for the Esports World Cup instead.
Right, it's more than the majors, but less than Invite, because SI is 3 mil.
3 mil, yeah.
Yeah, a whole mil more. Isn't that crazy to think about? It's like, oh yeah, it's only $1 million more. $1 million is a lot of money. What would I do with $1 million?
I have no idea.
You know that song? If I had $1 million?
I don't know that one.
It's a goofy song. Bare Naked Ladies.
I know that. I know the album.
Good band. Yeah, our producer just said pay off student loan. I would do that.
Yeah. Just
Pay
about.
off my wedding.
Just about
Oh my
covers it.
god. Oh, if I could have a free wedding. Jeez. Anyway. Back upstairs for
no
SSG.
mute this
Oh,
time.
bandit trick! Bandit trick! Yes! I love bandit tricks. Wow, they didn't even care.
They didn't even think about that was a possibility because that's the first time we've seen Bandit today, right?
Yeah.
Not today, but just this map, right? Like, we haven't seen Bandit so far.
Actually, did we see bandit last map? We did. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
he
We
was
did.
on-
Yeah.
We saw 1 bandit on round 3. On meeting.
Yeah. Fair enough. So yeah, also no mute being brought this time. Fault's opting to bring the bandit instead, and you see that has paid dividends for him. But Benjamaster is going to be the first one to get a kill this round. Rexon going to go down already. That's already the ace dead, and then has only got 1 charger left. So you know, losing that is pretty devastating, honestly.
Yeah.
But we do have Harbies charges, to be fair. We have can openers from Capita.
Also true. But still, the ace, I mean, I think the safety of the ace is something that's invaluable.
The redundancy,
yeah. You don't have to just walk up to the wall. You can throw it from a mile away. And the late Mira coming out from Forest, I like this. Identifying that it's not going to be an aqua push. So you know what? It's safe to put a Mira there. End up watching command center from all the way back there. And I believe he's got a long angle that goes into the B side as well. And what?
What? What? Oh, because the EMP's gone this time.
Came back.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That is devastating. You don't have the IT breach. The only way you're going to be able to walk in is through rafters, and look at how many angles that they have to worry about. No one on SSG is watching it, though. They're very passive, at least until Forrest strikes with the C4. Adam is dead. Deimos has a track on a player, but he's all the way downstairs, and that player on SSG is free to just sprint around. Now, all 3 players on Sonics are over on this side of the building. SSG can turn all their guns in one direction. Wamaidis, to add insult to injury, capturing those Bs. There's that long angle from the Mira window that Sonics is going to have to deal with. One player going to go for a late rotate as Ambi picks off Benja. Down goes the smoke, so a lot of time delay now no longer available, and the Mira window starting to get pressured, but wow, what a shot from Ash, and the shotgun works for 2! Merc, how do you not kill him? Ashen took 3 pumps to kill him. It still works out in his favor. All he can do is laugh as SSG take 3 in a row to put themselves on match point.
What an absolute disaster for Sonics. I don't like, you know, going at pro teams a lot because they practice day in, day out. They have boot camps. They make big salaries. But come on. The mistiming with the impact EMPs and getting bandit tricked as well. These are schoolboy mistakes. This should not be happening at this level.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I expect to be casting an element.
Yeah.
This is a qualifier for a $2 million tournament, and SSG they're primed and ready as they go back down onto tank. This is the site that they started the comeback on. Back on round 9, right after the timeout. And they've got the Mozzie this time from Benjamaster, maybe looking to have a little more staying power upstairs, bolster that roam. So now you've got both the Mute and the Mozzie, something that SSG have always been known for. There's that combination. But Sonics maybe reading into this. Looking to go direct, perhaps, with the Glaz. Rexon, he's sticking it. Sonics are putting their hopes and dreams on a Glaz play.
Okay.
I love it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I know you're a big fan of the Glaz play.
Love Glaz. And here we go. Breach already open. Mirror window dealt with. Smoke's coming out. Glaz on the coverage. In comes the ace. He's crossed. He's in. Plant is going down from Ambi. There's nothing that the defense has. The C4, it gets him! J9O with the round saver! Ambi goes down. Merc is next to fall. The Glaz play does not work out, and now the case is stranded in sight. There's verticality the attack has to worry about. They put all their eggs in one basket, and they've cracked.
It's an absolute disaster coming out from Sonics. They've got to try and recover this round by just getting aggressive and getting these frags. Grips are trying to flank here from the opposite side. Just taking a little bit of damage from a little bit of a wallbang, but they know he's there. Forrest is going to take him down. Ashing takes one down from above and Fultz finishes him off. It's a flawless round to end things for Space Station, and they're going straight to Riyadh.
They've got a chance to redeem themselves after a fruitless major. Going to Saudi Arabia. Space Station are our third team. Dark Zero, Luminosity, and SSG are our NA representatives heading to Riyadh. A 13-8 performance from Ashen, 11-8 from Benja. We talked about this before, but that is what we were missing from yesterday. We needed those big guns from SSG to wake up, to contend with the aggressive and heavy gunplay style of LG. Well, we had that against Sonics, and Sonics, after that call-out timeout, just had no answer.
The call-out timeout is the power again, saving Space Station
It
yet
really
again
is.
from a disaster, and a quick 2-0 from Space Station will secure their place. It'll be bye Sonics, unable to make it through the close qualifier. They will not be going to Riyadh. They will not pass go. They will not do the balls. So that's going to be all from us today, and all from us from the qualifier. Of course, Esports World Cup qualifier Rainbow Six. A prize pool of $2 million going to be played for in Riyadh at the end of the month on the 31st of July. Of course, I'm sure we're going to be all tuning into that. 16 teams heading there to Riyadh.
We also have to mention, too, it is no coincidence that Jazzman R6, social media manager for Beast Coast, they win the major. He leaves Beast Coast. He goes to SSG. SSG quals. Are they in line to win the EWC by the power of Adam Jazzman R6? Anyway, quick shout out to him. But yeah, SSG, incredible play. Shout out to Call. I mean, you mentioned it. That was, what, 4 rounds in a row? Yeah, after that timeout, where they just looked, I mean, they just looked flawless. It was incredible. So hopefully we see more of that at EWC. I believe the start date for Siege is July 31st, and that'll run through August 4th. So like Sternab said, that is it for us. Thank you all for watching, and we will see these teams at EWC. Please tune in once again on the 31st. Thanks for tuning in today, and have a blessed night.